What's up, everybody? It's your boy Season. So today we've got a Transformer review. So we're going to take a look at Sky Atlas from Wonderful Trans. This pretty much is a third-party figure of the Kurakari Kiri version of the IDW Optimus Prime from Flame Toys. That came out probably about 3 or 4 years ago. They just had a reissue. I was talking about that in a earlier review. So we got this in, so we're going to take a look at this today. So we're not going to waste any more time. Let's go. So let's take a look at the box real quick. Now, with third-party kits, a lot of times when it comes to box art and stuff like that, there really isn't much. So there's not really much to this. So, you know, it's got a faint picture of Optimus Prime there. It also says, all who serve on this day shall be forever remembered. Sky Atlas, Wonderful Trans, WT02. So I guess it's like the model number of the figure. So there's not really much here. So I'm not going to do it in the traditional form that I normally do my box stuff. But yeah, it says, all who serve on this day shall be forever remembered. Then you've got some Chinese markings here. So classic third-party stuff, same stuff on the back. Nothing super crazy. So I usually don't buy a lot of third-party kits just because it's just not my bag anymore. I used to buy them when I was younger, but you know, it doesn't really interest me all that much. But this one in particular did. So we're gonna take a look and see what's inside. All right, so let's see what we got inside here. So I don't know what to expect, as I haven't really seen too much on this guy. Let's move the box out there. So of course, first we have Optimus Prime here. And so, you know, he's actually bigger than the Kurakari Kiri version, but he does look relatively solid. Of course, he doesn't have the insignia parts on there because this is a third-party kit, so you'll have to like get stickers and do that yourself. And the feet, but he is relatively big. I would say just by eyeing him, he's probably at least 10 to 12 inches, I would imagine. And I think the Flame Toys one was only 8. So that's what you got for this. And then you've actually got his accessories. So, of course, you have the axe there. You've got some of the claws. That's exclusive to this version of it. And you look like you've got the backpack here. You got the blasters on the sides here. You got the face here and here. So, you know, you've got a couple of different things. Now, this one doesn't come with nearly as much stuff as the Flame Toys ones did. That one came with like a sword and like it lights up and all that. And even though I think this one lights up, it doesn't light up like the eyes or the knees or anything like the Flame Toys one did. So you've got that. And then you've also got the manual. So I guess we'll take a look at that real quick. So let's take a look at the manual. Next, let's take a look at the manual. So, you know, when it comes to third-party Transformers, and the reason why I don't actually do a ton of Transformer reviews on the channel, here we go. Looks like this all your part counts for all that stuff here. This is all in Chinese. So, and it does look like it has batteries. So it looks like what, LR521 for that. So, you know, it's got some interesting stuff here. It looks like it's pretty self-explanatory. But anyways, yeah, I really like that IDW design of Optimus Prime, especially the Flames Toys version of it. I think it's probably one of the best looking Optimus Primes I've ever seen. This one actually does transform. That's what makes this actual figure unique compared to the Flame Toys one. That one did not transform. Even though, as you know, I don't really care about transforming figures, but if it does it, it's fine. I'm never going to have it in a transformed state, but you know, it is what it is. But, you know, for me, it's just, I don't know, third-party Transformers, for me, they're kind of a mixed bag. Just like anything third-party, the reason why I don't like to buy a lot of third-party, especially now, I do believe in actually supporting the actual companies that own the copyrights and stuff like that. So I do agree with doing that, but it's not really like some sort of like moral standpoint that I have for it. But a lot of times I just noticed that with a lot of third-party kits, they don't really, their quality control is usually pretty terrible, and that's the reason why I don't like to mess with them a lot. And you know, dealing with Transformers as well, like their transformations can be relatively complex. So even though this one doesn't look super bad, but you know, so you've got a couple of things in here. and we'll take a look at this. Yeah, so, you know, I'm hoping that this, you know, I haven't bought a third party transformer in probably about 10 years. It's been quite some time. So, you know, we'll take a look at it and we'll see what it is. So let's get into that. Next, let's take a look at his accessories. So first we have his power axe. Okay, so get that to focus. This is a pretty nice size, pretty well designed. Of course, this is all based off of the Flame Toys IDW tribute to the Optimus Prime. So you got the power axe. Now with this actual set, he's actually missing quite a few weapons. He does not have the dual blades that the Flame Toys one has. He does not have the other axes that the Flame Toys ones has. So this is all that they give you. They also give you some extra ones. So here you have the he's got claws, right? So kind of like some Wolverine claws. You can put those on like a gauntlet. All right, so you've got those, and they say that there's a lot of die cast on this figure. I don't see it anywhere. I think this is the only thing that I noticed that actually has die cast on it. So I could be wrong about that, but I haven't seen anything that tells me that it's die cast. So, but this is hard metal. So you got that. Then you have his ion cannon. So of course this does extend out, okay, as well. So you've got that there. So he's got two of these. So he's got this one, and this is the other one. So it's pretty much the same. You know, this handle does go on a swivel like that, so you can actually grab it with two hands if you like. Okay, so you've got that there. So it's decent. This one also comes with a magnet. This also comes with a magnet in here, and that's actually to turn on the lights in the chest. So you've got that there. Next you have some missile pods. So this is actually mainly for his truck mode, but you can also put these on his sides as well. Most of them, they're pretty plasticky. That's a thing about this figure, is that it feels very, very plastic or unfinished to me. But like I said, this is kind of what you run into with third-party stuff. This is the reason why I normally don't buy it, but I took an exception on this one. So he's got the missile pods here. And then, of course, he's got his backpack here. So he's got the wings here. These will go in and out. All right, it's very, very squeaky because it's very, very plasticky. So you've got that there. You got the thrusters that do move up and down. These actually will rotate around as well. I think that's for the truck mode. So you've got that there. You got some decent detail work here as well, and the attachment piece there. So that's what you've got for the backpack. And then we got the two face plates. Now, when we get to the actual face on this guy, I have a rant, because this is crazy what they did with this one. But you do have the different face plates. So you have the half broken mask there, and then you've got the version with just the mouth. So you've got that, and then of course you got the one with the face plate on him right now. So that's what you've got. You do have some little piping in here, but I've noticed, like, when you actually put it on there, that it actually makes his eyes look dead. And since there is no light in the eyes for this one, that's something that you may have to fix if you want it to look kind of lively. But other than that, the sculpt is fine. So that's what you got for the faces. And then last, you actually have like this adapter piece, and you're like, what is this for? Well, this is actually for the axe. And unlike the Flame Toys one, this is actually kind of unique to this specific figure, is that he can actually use the axe parts as the shield. So let's do that real quick. Okay, so let's take a look at this axe. Let's try to make this into the shield. So first things first, what you're going to want to do is you're going to have to take off these yellow pieces here. So they just kind of come off. They got holes here and here that they latch onto. I would be careful with that, because you may crack that, because this plastic is pretty brittle. So just be careful with that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to split this. All right, so you're going to take that, split that, and then this will actually come off. Okay, just like this. All right, so now you got the bare bones of the axe there. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this piece here, And then literally you're just gonna put these pieces and these holes will match up on these as well. So you just do that. Put this on here. There we go, just like that. So that's one side. You do that for the second side. Okay, and now you can put your yellow pieces back on. Just like this. And you know, that's your shield. So the shield actually is quite interesting. I actually do like it, but he doesn't have a sword. So, you know, you don't get the sword that you get with the Flame Toys one either. So even though I like this idea as this being like an energy shield, he doesn't really have anything to hold other than the gun. So, you know, but you'd have this and then this will just plug into his tricep on the side. So we'll actually do that. Let's actually grab him. All right. And then what we're gonna do is raise this up real quick. So yeah, he would just take this and put it in on his tricep there. So let's do that real quick. So you would take that and plug this in here. Just like that. And so there you go, as part of his shield there. So that's interesting. I actually do like that. You have two uses for the energy axe, but like I said, he doesn't have a sword, so you'd have to probably use one of the guns or either the claws or something like that. So that's what you've got for accessories. So actually, let's take a look at this figure because I've got quite a bit to say about it, and then we'll also do some articulation as well. Next, let's take a look at some of the detail work on this guy. So let's take a look here. So of course, this is based off of the Flames Toys Kurikari Kiri Optimus Prime, which is kind of like a homage of the IDW Optimus Prime. And you know, I love the design, but as far as like, he's got a lot of detail work in here and here. So like they've done a decent amount of work as far as the detail, like in the vents on the front skirt there. You've got some detail work in here. You got some detail work on the legs. They did a really good job on the legs and on the sides. So you do have some decent, you do have these. The wheels do move, even though I don't know if you'd actually really want to mess with those. But yeah, so you've got a lot of good detail work in here on the sides. You know, it's got the lights there for the feet. So that's for the transformation and stuff like that. And you got some detail work in here. So you've got some pretty decent detail work. My issue with it is that the plastic is quite brittle. It just doesn't seem like it's going to hold up, and it always feels like it's going to break. It is very, very soft. So I would say it's almost like a almost like ABS plastic. I'm not sure what kind of plastic this is. And without the die cast in here, even though it looks like you have possibly some here in the on the elbows here and here, but it's used very sparingly at best. So, you know, it is what it is as far as the detail work. I mean, of course, it doesn't have, because since it's not a licensed product, it doesn't have the Autobot symbols. The Autobot symbol is supposed to go in the chest here and then on the side. And then for the Flames Toys one, that one is actually embossed. So could you do that here? I guess you maybe could if you wanted to put in some work as far as getting an indentation on the shoulder and in order to make that work. But I think most people will probably just buy Transformer stickers. They're pretty easy to find online, and then just kind of go that route. So, you know, he's got some interesting detail work, but unfortunately, I think that the plastic is too brittle. I don't know if it's going to hold up over time. So even though it looks good because it's based off of the Flame Toy design, there is a good figure here, but you're going to have to put in some work to kind of really make it pop the way that the Flame Toys one does. So, but ultimately I still like it. You know, it was only $200, even though that's still a lot of money. So, you know, you've got that, but you know, you still have the detail work as far as the chest plates is concerned. Okay, so you can actually pull this out. All right, and then there's your matrix of leadership there. And I don't understand why on the Flames toys and on this one that the matrix is upside down. This part is actually supposed to be up, but I just find that kind of weird. So you've got that. And then also with the magnet, you can also do this and he'll light up. So that's pretty interesting. And as you know, I'm not really a big fan of lighting gimmicks, but I think that this one is actually pretty good. The problem is he only lights up the chest, nothing else. Because to me, if you're going to do it, you might as well have done the head as well. Because I do like the fact that you can use a magnet to take that, turn that on and off, since there's no switch like on the Flames Toys one. But you know, so you can use that. So I actually do like that. So I think that that's actually pretty good. And this whole piece will actually pop out. Let's see here. Let me pull that out. The matrix is going to fall out. There you go. And then pull this out. And let's take a look here. So yeah, you know, so that's your faceplate there. So it's or the chest plate there. So, you know, it's pretty cool. I like it, you know, and for someone who's not really a fan of lighting gimmicks, actually, I think that one's pretty cool that you can use. And that's actually a pretty bright light. So, you know, but it's cool. But they only half did it. I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well go all the way or don't do it at all, right? Whoops. Unless that matrix does like to come out. So, but we can do that. And then let's turn that off there. So it does take 2 batteries in there. So, but you know, you've got that. But yeah, like the eyes and stuff, if you look at this here, I don't know if you can see this, is that the eyes, even though they're kind of piped, they actually look like they're meant to actually have lights in them. But for whatever reason, they didn't put lights in there. And so unfortunately, his eyes look very dead to me. So you can see some piping in there, but it just doesn't, you know, it just doesn't pop. It just looks dead. So what I would probably do, especially if you're not going to take the time to actually put a light in there, because for your modelers and stuff, this is pretty run-of-the-mill stuff that, you know, for expert modelers, you know, they do a lot of lighting stuff. So you could probably put a lighting thing in there if you wanted to. But probably what I would probably do is probably paint the eyes. I would probably paint them that metallic blue color, and that'll kind of make it pop a little bit more. So, you know, that's what we've got for the detail. So not bad detail, but the plastic quality leaves a little bit to be desired. So now we'll get into articulation. Next, let's take a look at some articulation. So what we've got here, of course, with the head, he can go 360. All right. And then he can look up, he can look down. All right. So he's got a decent range of motion here. All right. So he's got that. The ears actually don't move on this. So you've got that. You've also, for the shoulders, he will raise up about like that. Now, if you pull this out, and this has to do with this transformation, you can probably get a little bit higher, but not by much. So I probably wouldn't do it more than that. So you've got that. For the smokestacks, they will go in, and you can pull those out as well. Those actually do move. That has to do with this transformation. Also, this will go in and out as well. Okay. So you've got that. For the bicep, you've got 360. I'd be careful with it though. Okay. So you've got that. And then he's got a decent elbow bend. Quite good there. Okay. And then you've also got at the tricep, this will go 360 as well. So you've got that there. Now, for his wrist, he actually doesn't have much articulation here, just because, and I think it has to do with because this panel has been split, and that's for his transformation. So I think he doesn't really have that much wrist articulation. So it will kind of move a little bit, but not by much. Okay, so that's what you've got for the arms. Now, for the midsection, he does have a good ab crunch, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to the back here. So what they've got here is they've got this little T-bar here, and this actually will act like his spine, but the thing is you have to grab it from the back. So what happens is you take this and you pull that up, and then this is kind of like the spine here, but the problem is with this, it doesn't really stay in there. It's not like glued in, or it's not anything. So actually, a lot of times this will actually come loose. All right, but he does have a decent ab crunch, so I will give him that. All right, and then you can push that back in. It will go from side to side. All right, almost 360. So you can probably do that. All right. So you've got that, and then, but he doesn't have anything from side to side. Unfortunately, there's not much there. Okay. So you've got that for the midsection. Now for the waist, you've got the front skirts will move. Also, the side skirts will move as well. All right. So these will move here, and so will the back skirts. So you've got that. A lot of this has to do with this actual transformation as a part falls. Okay. All right. And so you've got all of his skirts will move up and down. You're not going to get much out of them other than that. That has to do with this transformation mainly. Okay. So you've got that. Now for his upper thigh, this will go 360. Okay. So you can do it that way. Now, can he do the splits? He's got a pretty strong ratchet. So absolutely, he can do the splits. Okay. So not too bad there. Now, for the knees, he actually does have a pretty good knee bend. Okay. Now, as you see here, you keep hearing all the squeaking, and that's because it's pretty much all plastic. So, but he does have a decent knee bend there. Okay. And then it can go up that way as well. So, not bad for articulation there. So you got that. Now for the feet. The feet, you can go down, of course. Now you can actually get it to go up, but you're gonna have to do some finagling. Because what this is this is on a swing track. All right. And then what you'll find out with this third party thing is that a lot of these pieces and stuff are kind of just kind of like glued in there, but you can get it, you know, but you just have to do some finagling. Like you'll have to lift this up here. Let's put this piece back on. So you can kind of go that, and then you can kind of raise this up, and then you would just pull this down. So it actually can go up just like that, but you do have to do some finagling in order to get that to work. And this piece will pop off if you put too much stress on there. So that's what you've got there. He actually does have a good ankle rock. So this place will become untabbed, and so he actually can move that, but it looks like it's only one way. I don't know. You're not going to get that much on the other side, okay? And the same thing for this one. So you would just unhinge that, and that actually has to do with this transformation there. So that's what you got for the feet. So believe it or not, his articulation is actually quite good. Some limitations that he has as far as the wrist and the feet are concerned, but a lot of that has to just do with the, let me move that back down here. Yeah, you kind of have to baby this thing. Okay, there we go. And then also, actually, I didn't show you the hands. So for the hands, he does not come with individual hands. He just has articulated hands, okay? And they're actually quite good. I must admit, that might be one of the best points of this thing, that the articulated hands are pretty solid. So you got those there. So those actually work pretty well, all right? So that's what you have for articulation. Not bad. I've definitely seen worse, even more official figures. So, but it's based off of the Flame Toys design, so I'm not really surprised. But they keep most of it. It's not really limited that much by its by its transformation, and so it's not too bad. Now we'll actually get into the transformation next. Let's actually put some of the weapons on him, and so we'll see how he looks with all his stuff on him. So of course, first we're gonna put on his backpack. All right, so we're just gonna take this. This will take this and push this out. All right, so you've got this here. All right, and then we'll plug that in there. All right. So that's what he looks like with his backpack. The wings do move up and down. They do squeak a little bit here. And then for his his blaster, this actually will go in here. So you can fold this out and then you'll put this in here just like that. So that will actually hold that there. Now for the arms, we're going to try the claws here. So these claws will move, and actually you can take these off as well, even though they're on there pretty tight. So, but what we'll do is we'll take that, we'll put the claws on just like that, and boom. So now he's got his Wolverine claws just like that. So not too shabby. And then, all right, so for this part, we're gonna put his missile launchers on. So what we're gonna do is just take this and fold this up here. All right, and then we're gonna kind of fold that in on itself. So now he's kind of got like a missile launcher there. So not too shabby. All right. Next, we'll actually have use his shield. So the shield has a little like peg here, and then what you'll do is you'll actually, let me open this up real quick. And then all it is that that peg goes into that hole there. So you've got that, you take that. So plug that in there, and then we'll wrap his fingers around just like that. So now he has his axe. And lastly, we'll actually use his gun here. So let's do this real quick. Take that, push that in here, there. So now, of course, he has all of his weapons. So not too shabby. Now he is also missing a lot of other weapons that the Flame Toys one did have. But ultimately, I don't think that this is bad. I think that this is actually quite good. They do have some unique ones, even though like the missile launchers, the claws, those are pretty cool. But you know, I think I still would have preferred like the sword and the other axes that the Flame Toys one came out with, but not too shabby for this one. So next, we will get into the problem that I have with it, and that is the face. So we'll do that next. Next, I'm going to actually talk about the main issue with this figure, and this is pretty much unexcusable to me, but we're going to talk about the face. So of course, as I talked about earlier, of course, with this compared to the Flame Toys one, these were actually painted, so there's blue instead of just straight silver, okay? But, you know, a modeler or whatever, you can kind of fix that up, so I'll forgive that. But the issue here is, in order to put these faces on, you're gonna have to do something with this head, right? And so with the head, let's pull this off here. All right, so this is how this comes. Now, the thing about this head or this faceplate here is that I have mine held on by sticky tack. All right, and the reason why is because what happens with this face is this face doesn't actually stay on here. Now, when I first tried to replace the face plates, what I noticed, and I've noticed this a lot about this figure, is that a lot of these places are glued together. So they're fine if you don't want to remove them. Same with the kind of like the base at the feet and this faceplate. This faceplate is not being held on by anything. And what I'm going to show you, I took the sticky tack off, and I just want to show you what happens here. So what you've got that, but as you see, the face just slips out. So as you see, there's nothing holding this on. Apparently how they did this to sell it is they put glue on there, because you would see there's like these two slots here. So it looks like maybe in the original design that you were actually supposed to be able to plug those in there. Let me take off this front part here first. All right. So if you look at those two here, it looks like that face should be able to just snap onto those. But if you look at the back of this faceplate, there is no slot for that. That doesn't actually rest on there at all. It just kind of sits on there. It just kind of sits on there. And all the faces are like that. All the faces here have that indentation. So they all have that indentation there, but it doesn't really it doesn't really go on there. And to me, this is unexcusable. You cannot have this as a actual product because the faces don't even stay on. So my thing is, why even have them in here if you can't actually put the faceplates on? That just doesn't make any sense to me. So what I found to be an easy fix for this is to take the sticky tack and kind of place it on there. All right, just like that. And then take this faceplate, push that on there. Okay, and that'll kind of keep it in place and keep it centered. And then we can put this part down just like that. And as you see, it doesn't move. So, but to me, as a product that you're actually trying to sell to a consumer, this is unexcusable. I cannot accept this. This is stupid. I shouldn't have to go and fix the face in order to get it to work. That's not a good thing. So now, can it be fixed? The answer is yes. You can fix it with sticky tack. I've seen where people actually can use magnets. You can put a magnet, but this is for modeler. This is modeler work. You're buying a figure. So usually people buy figures so they don't have to do that work. But, you know, that is a problem. So that's my problem with the face. And to me, that is a significant issue. And the fact that they released this with that kind of issue and they thought that, oh, we'll just glue it on there and nobody will know until they start actually trying to put the different faceplates on. And then you find out that that's a problem. So we can't have that. So, so that's what I've got for the face. Now let's get into final thoughts. So last thoughts on this guy. You know, I'm kind of conflicted because from an aesthetic standpoint, he actually looks really, really good. He looks like the Flames toys. It's more of like a jumbo version of that. But unfortunately, the quality that this figure has is it's not good. There are plenty of panels on him that get stressed. A lot of times, especially like the panels in the feet and maybe even the side panels on his legs, once they're kind of held in by glue, just like the face was. It was held in by glue. And once you kind of break that seal of that glue, good luck trying to get that stuff to stay together anymore, because it won't. And to me, that's even for a figure, because this, of course, the Flames toys cost like over 400 plus. I've talked about that in other videos. But with this one was roughly about 200. But to me, it's not even worth 200. The transformation, for me, I actually filmed the transformation that I did on this guy. But to be honest, I got so frustrated in doing it because the panels on the sides, when he actually transforms into truck mode, is so bad. And that parts were getting stressed, just me trying to pull it all together, is that I ended up cutting that entire segment all together. The transformation is trash. It looks okay, but it's not necessarily fun to transform at all. I wouldn't say it's necessarily difficult, but I just don't think it was well engineered. You know, you have panels that have to go all the way through to the top, and then they just don't really connect together all that well. It's just trash. That's the only thing nice I can say about it is it's trash. As far as the lighting is interesting because, you know, they light up the chest, but then they didn't light up the head. And even though I don't really care about lights, I actually think with this figure specifically, he actually does need it. I can understand not actually putting the lights in the knees. I actually thought that those were unnecessary even on the Flames toys one. But at least if you're going to light up the chest, you might as well light up the head. Why do you have it to where just the chest is lit up? I don't understand that. So to me, that's a fail as well. But also, my main gripe is the face. The face, you cannot have it to where you can't even put the alternate mask on. It doesn't hold. I had to put sticky tack in there. I have sticky tack on him now because, like I said, it was glued in there. And once you kind of break that seal, it's not going to stay in there no matter what you do, unless you either re-glue it, which means you can only put one face in there, or you're gonna have to put sticky tack. Now there are different ways that you can do that. The model side of me is kind of like, oh well, you know, you could drill a hole in the middle and then get like a sprue, and you can have it to where it connects on there. And so it can be done. But I would say that the average person is not going to take the time in order to do that, especially if you're buying a figure. You want that stuff to already be ready to go outside the box. I shouldn't have to do a ton of modifications to this guy in order to get him to work. To me, that defeats the purpose of buying a figure. If I'm going to do that, I might as well just buy a model, and then I can kind of make it the way I want it to be. So, and I think the thing that makes me so disappointed about this guy is the fact that on the outside surface, there is a bare bones of a good figure here. But unfortunately, the plastic is too brittle. The panels don't go together when he transforms. The lighting is kind of half done. His face doesn't stay on. I have had panels and things like that on him, especially on the feet, that they've broken off. So unfortunately, they're just resting on there. I'm gonna have to try to glue those back in order to get those to stay put. It's just, unfortunately, there's too many negative points that I have on this guy. So even though he looks great, I wouldn't recommend this guy to anybody. I would say out of 10, I'm going to give him like a 3.5 or a 4. And I think that's me being pretty kind. Because the transformation kind of sealed the deal for me. Like the face, I didn't like that either. That, like, those two things specifically is kind of what brought all the points down for this guy, because the articulation is there, the weapons are there, even though he doesn't have all the ones that the Flames Toys one has, but he does have some unique ones to this figure, you know, with the missile launcher and the claws, and, you know, the fact that you have a magnet in the ion cannon. So that's what actually turns on and off his lights, I think are great. Now, you know, if you're a modeler or you're a hardcore, you like to tinker with stuff, I would say that there's still enough bare bones here to buy this and then possibly do your own modifications to it to kind of make it the way you want it, or to make it more closer to the Flames Toys version. But for your average consumer, I don't think so. I think if you just want a statue piece, something that's going to sit there and look pretty, and you never plan on transforming it or anything, he doesn't come with the trailer, so I don't necessarily even know why. You know, I think they wanted to just make it unique by having this version transform. But considering that this is not like an official version of an Optimus Prime, and that he's kind of an amalgamation of all the different primes that we've had beforehand, good and bad, you know, him transforming, I don't think it was necessary. But the thing is, it also takes away from some of the high points that he has, because, you know, great articulation and all that. But I don't know. It's just, for me, I would say, and I collect quite a few Optimus Primes over the years. I don't necessarily do videos on all of them, but of course I have the 3.0, and I have the, you know, the MP10, and, you know, I've got Lio Convoy, and, you know, I've got, you know, God Jinrai and all that stuff. So I have plenty of Optimus Primes, and even though this guy looks good, this is probably the worst Optimus Prime I've ever bought. I do not like it at all. So I cannot recommend anybody buying this unless you just want something, a canvas, in order to kind of do your own work with. So other than that, that's what I've got for you today. I hate to give out negative reviews, but I do have to be honest. And to me, this is just not good. So it looks good. So I would say, if you like this design of Optimus Prime, I would say just save your money. Even though it cost an arm and a leg, just save your money and buy the Flames Toys. Now, there is another third-party version of this design, and that's the Muscle Bear. And it's a little bit smaller, because this one's almost just a hair under 10 inches. And the Muscle Bear is more closer to the Flame Toys one, because I think that one's roughly around 8 inches. There is a third-party knockoff of that one, and that comes with all the weapons that the Flames Toys one had and all of that, and it looks more closer to that. It still has all the lighting gimmicks and stuff like that, so that is readily available. So if you're still like, oh, I don't want to pay that much for the Flame Toys, I guess there is an alternative to that. But for me personally, this kind of cemented the deal as far as why I don't necessarily like dealing with third-party figures. That a lot of times their quality control is just atrocious. They may look good at first, but then once you actually start messing around with it and tinkering with it, that's where they always fall apart. So, you know, that's unfortunate. But anyways, so I think I've ranted long enough. But anyways, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.